Alright, so welcome back guys, or welcome to this your first time here. I'm Vision here with Blind Entertainment bringing you guys another video. Today I'm going to be doing my top 10 most anticipated movies for 2020. Now, if movies is something you're interested in, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and hit that bell icon. That way you miss more movie news and movie reviews from me moving forward. Now let's begin. Coming in at number 10, it would be Bad Boys for Life. Now, I didn't grow up watching these movies. I actually haven't seen the first two movies at all, but I'm a huge fan of Will Smith. I'm a huge fan of like these buddy cop movies and like action movies altogether. So this is one I definitely want to check out this year. Probably going to try to watch the first two before I go see this one. If I can see it in theaters, I don't know if I have the time to right now. But I'm going to hopefully get to seeing it soon, or if not, when it comes out on DVD or whatever. But this definitely looks like a cool movie. Love the trailer. Everything about it looks cool. But again, didn't really grow up with the franchise or anything like that. It was kind of before my time at the time, so I didn't grow up with it. I never seen it before, but definitely want to check it out because it looks cool and exciting. Love Will Smith, like I said, and just looks like a fun, kind of go to the movies and forget what's going on and just have some fun. That's the kind of movie it looks like to me, and definitely one I want to check out when I get the chance. Next, we got at number 9, Wonder Woman 1984. Now, I know a lot of people probably have this like in their top 5, but the reason why it's not that in that area for me is because I actually never saw the original Wonder Woman that came out back in 2017. I'm hoping to get it watched by the time this comes out. But this looks really cool, really fun. Very interested to see what they do with this movie. Again, never saw the first one, so kind of can't really base anything off of this one for that, since I haven't seen that one. But definitely looks cool. Definitely want to check this one out. Again, I'm more of a Marvel fan than DC, so that's kind of why I kind of skipped this. But I heard it was good, so I definitely want to check it out before the sequel drops later this year. So I'm hoping that I can get to it by that time. Definitely looks cool, like I said, and definitely looks like it'll be a big hit for DC. The first one did great, so I'm assuming this one will probably do just as good, if not greater. But definitely one I want to check out and see what they do with this character and her movies moving forward. Coming in at number 8 is Disney Pixar's Onward. Now, I grew up watching all these Disney Pixar movies. The original Toy Story came out the same year I was born, so I am a huge fan of these Disney Pixar movies, so I'm very interested to see what they're doing. I think they're taking a lot of their movies in a different area moving forward, so I'm very curious to see what they do with this one. They got some great voice actors in this one with Tom Hiddleston and Chris Pratt, and the story looks pretty cool regarding these two brothers who lost their dad, and there's this magical thing that they can visit their dad for like 24 hours or whatever. So it looks like a really cool movie that will, if you have kids, they'll love it. And if you're an adult, as usual, you'll love these Pixar movies. They're probably some of the best animated movies out there. And this one looks like it's going to be a great movie, just as well as some of the other ones. The only reason it's higher up is because I kind of feel like I'm iffy on where they're taking this one. So I'm kind of, in the middle. I definitely am going to check it out. Love Disney Pixar, and definitely excited to see what they do with this movie, because I think it's really going to be a good Disney movie and Pixar movie, and I'm curious to see what they do with it and how they establish this and maybe move in a different direction for Pixar moving forward. Coming in at number 7 is another Disney movie, which is Jungle Cruise. Now, this is one I'm curious to see what they do with here. I'm a huge fan of The Rock. I go see all of his movies, whether they're good or bad. Me and my dad are huge fans of his, so we always go check out his movies. And this one looks pretty cool. Something different and out of his league, kind of, from some of his movies that he's done recently. So I'm curious to see what he does with this one. You got him, and I think it's Emma Watson, or is it Emma Stone? I always get those two actresses confused, but it's one of those two. And it looks very cool and interesting. I'm very interested to see what they do with this movie. I think The Rock's kind of going in a different direction right now. He's done a lot of the action adventure movies, stuff like that. And I think maybe this one's kind of similar, but I feel like it's going in a different direction. And I'm curious to see what it does and how it might affect his career and what kind of movies he does. Yes, this is a Disney movie, but I feel like it's something different from what he usually does. And he might be going into different areas. So I'm curious to see what this does for his career and what it does overall. The trailer looks pretty cool. Kind of mad to okay to me. I'm not sure how I felt about this movie, but definitely one I'm excited to see with The Rock in it and check it out because it's definitely one I think is going to be pretty interesting and cool this year. Coming in at number 6 is Black Widow. Now, again, with Wonder Woman, I feel like this is one that people probably have in their top 5. The only reason it kind of got a little higher on my list is because I feel like the Black Widow movie is kind of one of those movies where there's no high stakes. We know what's going to happen in the end. Black Widow's not going to be in any real danger. We know she survives because it's going to be taking place between, I think it's Civil War and Infinity War. So there's not much they can do there to make it high stakes. Yes, we're getting Taskmaster. Yes, we're getting the Red Guardian and a bunch of other characters. But it's just, due to the fact that we know that she's not in any danger, it just kind of lowers the stakes for me and isn't one that I'm super excited for. Yes, I'm excited for it because it's a Marvel movie. I love the MCU, love all the Marvel movies. But just because there's no high stakes, it just got a little higher on my list. I'm excited to see what they do with this movie. I'm excited that Black Widow finally gets her own movie. And I'm curious to see what they do with this movie and planting the seeds for the future of the MCU and the next big bad that's going to be coming up. So I'm very curious to see what they do with this movie in regards to that. And still very excited to see Black Widow in her own movie. Just kind of a meh movie to me. Not to say I'm not excited. It's still very excited and anticipated for me. But it's just kind of one of those movies where I'm like, yeah, it's coming. I'm excited for it, but there's just not that high of a stakes with this movie regards to some of the other movies on this list. Coming in at number 5 is Dolittle. Now, I grew up with the Eddie Murphy version of this movie. I've seen it probably multiple times as a kid, and I really love those movies. The first two, at least. The other ones are kind of, I don't know, low-hanging fruit in regards to that stuff. It's kind of bad. But this one looks really cool and interesting. They got Robert Downey Jr. coming in, so that's exciting and cool. Very curious to see what this does for his career, and definitely post the MCU and Iron Man and stuff like that. This looks cool. It's got a bunch of different voice actors in it. It's probably, while it's on my top 5, it's one of those movies where it's probably going to be cool, but it's not going to be like something I'm crazy about. But it definitely looks like something cool and different, and very curious to see what they do with this adaptation of Dolittle. Yes, it's a Disney movie, so there's going to be stuff like that. But very curious to see what they do with this movie again. Robert Downey Jr. again, one of my favorite actors right now. So interested to see what this does for him and how he brings his own, charisma and stuff to the role of Dr. Dolittle. And all this stuff, from what I've heard, it's like him as a widower, and then he kind of goes out on his last mission or whatever, and that's where he learns he can talk to animals or whatever. So that's got an interesting concept in of itself. So I'm curious to see how the plot impacts this movie, because it's different than the other Dr. Dolittle movies out there. So I'm curious to see what this does in regards to that, and what this does maybe if they make any more sequels or any other movies, if it's good or not. So very curious to see what they do with this movie, and definitely excited to see when it finally drops. Coming in at number 4 is another Disney Pixar movie, which is Soul. Now, this one, as compared to Onward, this one I'm probably more excited for. This looks very interesting, and I really am curious to see what they do with this movie. Now, you got Jamie Foxx, I think, in the lead role or voice actor role, and it looks to me like they're combining things from Up and Inside Out and Coco all into this kind of movie. And pretty much from what I understand, it's kind of what happens to a person's soul after they die, and like I think it's like it's transferring into another person, and like what it means and stuff. So that's kind of an interesting concept. I feel like it could get a little wonky in a way, but still I'm curious to see what they do with this movie. Again, I feel like Pixar's going in a different direction, and I think this one compared to Onward looks more interesting and exciting to me. I feel like this is going to be one of those movies that pulls on your heartstrings, whether you're a kid or an adult. It's going to be one of those movies that makes you think and makes you, connect in a way. I love those kind of movies, and this is one of those movies that I think is going to do that. So that's why it's in my top 5. And I'm curious to see what it does in regards to story. I know there's this huge, Pixar theory thing, so I'm curious to see how fans intersect this one into that theory. So I'm excited to see what they do with this movie. Especially with the voice acting and just the story of like how it, the idea of a soul going on to a different person. That's interesting. I feel like for a kid, I might be a little creepy, but I feel like Pixar has a good track record where they are able to keep stuff kid friendly, but still make it on a level where adults can connect and make it adult kind of connect with it in the same way. So I think in that aspect, they got a good movie on their hands, and I'm curious to see what the movie's all about. Because right now, yes, it sounds cool, but I feel like there's a little bit more that they're keeping from us, and I'm curious to see what that is. 'Cause if there is something else there, because I think there is, and if there is, I'm curious to see what it is and how it impacts this movie overall. Coming in at number 3 is Godzilla vs. Kong. Now, I know a lot of people are not fans of this Godzilla franchise. I actually enjoyed the movies. I thought the original Godzilla was pretty good to decent. Skull Island was pretty good, and I think King of the Monsters was actually a really good movie. Now I know a lot of fans don't like it due to how the humans are not very well developed, but if you look at these movies, they're not supposed to be from the humans' point of view. They're supposed to be these from Kong and Godzilla's point of view. They're like our protagonists. The humans are just like our, the cat and fodder, that ones that just are there. Yes, some of them will survive, but majority of them will end up dying. I actually really enjoy them. I can't wait to see how this series ends. If this is the end of the, franchise for right now or whatever. But I really am excited for this one. It was supposed to come out earlier this year, but it got pushed to the end of the year. So I don't know. Hopefully it means it's good, but this looks really fun. I'm so excited for it. Like I said, the other 3 movies are really fun and enjoyable, and I just can't wait to see how they ended out with this movie, especially with it being Godzilla vs. Kong. That is even a funner and a greater idea to me, and they had a lot of setup at the end of King of the Monsters, so I think this has a lot of potential. I just hope it lives up to the potential that they've been building up to over the past few years. Our runner-up is gonna be Ghostbusters Afterlife. Now, I am very excited for this one. The trailer looks really cool, and it looks like they're gonna be finally giving us the Ghostbusters we've been asking for. I didn't grow up with the original 2 Ghostbusters, but I have seen them later on, and I really do enjoy them. The first one probably better than the second one, but I'm very excited. I know there was a lot of hate towards the Ghostbusters 2016 movie. I'm in the middle. I don't think it's terrible, but I don't think it's great. It's just kind of meh to me. There's a lot of controversy over that one, with it being a woman Ghostbusters. I don't care about that. But I'm excited to see what they do with this one. I think it has a lot of potential, and I honestly believe it's going to live up to the potential. You got the 3 original Ghostbusters plus Annie Potts and Sigourney Weaver coming back, so that's exciting. And you got a whole bunch of new cast with McKenna Grace, and you got Finn Wolfhard and Paul Rudd, who I love. I'm just so excited for this new movie. I think it's got a great cast of characters, and it's got a great setup, I think. Very excited to see what they do with this, and I think it's going to be the big summer blockbuster. Now, my number 1 most anticipated movie for this year is Eternals. Now, this is one I'm super hyped for. We got an amazing cast of characters with Salma Hayek, Kumail Nanjiani. You got the guy who played Jon Snow in this. I'm so excited. You got such great actors in this movie, and I think this is gonna be great because it's, from what I understand, supposed to set up the cosmic side or expand on the cosmic side of the MCU, and I've even heard rumors that it might set up Galactus and other stuff like that, which is even more exciting. I think this is going to be one of the best movies of the year, especially with Marvel. They have a great track record, and I feel like this is going to be similar to the Guardians of the Galaxy, and that paid off great for Marvel. And I feel like this has the potential to do the same. It's going to be another great movie, and I think it's going to, I'm not going to compare it to Guardians, but I think it's going to be on the same level as Guardians. I think it has potential to be as good as Guardians, but I'm not going to say right away that it's going to be better or greater or, same. I think it has potential. Oh yeah, guys, those are my top 10 most anticipated movies for 2020. Let me know your top 10 most anticipated movies for 2020 in the comment section down below. And as always, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and share. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and hit that bell icon. That way you're missing more movie videos from me moving forward. And you can go follow me on Instagram and Twitter, which are linked in the About section on my YouTube channel. As always, it's been Vision here with Blind Entertainment, and I'll see you next time.